There are certain interior design styles that would make such a great couple. Some design pairings just simply feel like soulmates for each other. And today we are diving into a design love story that could have been penned in a Parisian bookstore, cafe, one dark and stormy night. A dark romance filled with secret rendezvous in the dark hidden corners of an old library with the air filled with the smell of old books and Chanel No. 5. I'm talking about dark academia mingling with a French design aesthetic. And this topic was actually inspired by one of you. Deborah Walters, 9746, commented a while back saying, "Could you do a dark academia room with a French twist? I'm doing my den dark green, bookcases and antiques, trying to find accessories that have a French vibe to add." And I immediately loved this idea, so thank you, Deborah. So in this video, I'm going to explore the dark academia and French design aesthetics and talk about how to achieve this romantic union through decor accessories. And one thing about these two aesthetics right off the bat is the important role that art plays in them. And I recently took a really interesting class called How to Look at and Understand Great Art on Craftsy, which is today's sponsor for this video. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative, from sewing to knitting to baking to decorating and more. And if you've ever struggled with choosing wall art for your space, whether you're just overwhelmed by the options or you just don't know what to look for, this art class I've been taking on Craftsy is such a great way to understand art on a deeper level. Focal point, perspective, colors, symbolism, composition. There's so much to dissect from a single piece of art. So what if you could understand all these elements in a way that actually helps you choose the right wall art for you and your space and connect with it even more deeply? It's been so fascinating to learn about. And if you're a lover of DIY decor, Craftsy is a goldmine of projects. You can learn how to weave a throw pillow or paint an accent wall pattern using a projector, or crochet your own blanket to cozy up with on your couch. And the first 1,000 of you to click the link in the video description will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. Valid for new members only. So click the link in the description and discover Craftsy's world of arts, crafts, and DIY bliss. And thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. And if you're new here, my name is Steffi, and on this channel I talk about small apartment styling, cozy living, and the joys of living alone. So if you're into that, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. Now let's talk about mixing dark academia with French styling for the ultimate design love story of the ages. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth into dark academia because I already have a couple videos dedicated to it, so I'll link to those in the description. But to sum it up, it's an aesthetic that celebrates the romanticism of intellectual pursuits in an old world academic environment. Think Oxford in the 1800s or Hogwarts circa the turn of the millennium. The style evokes the drama of shadowy libraries filled with leather-bound books and vintage desks adorned with quills and brass candlesticks and a bust or two. It's all about creating a space that feels like stepping into a 19th century scholar's study, balancing Gothic influences with the softer, timeless elegance of classical design. So that's just a quick rundown of dark academia. Now let's get into what's thought of as classic French design elements. So when we think about French design, what comes to mind is an effortless elegance that feels collected, lived in, and romantic. I think about the quintessential Parisian apartment with herringbone hardwood floors, crown molding, a marble fireplace, tall windows that lead to a barely there Juliet balcony that looks over the other Paris apartment buildings nearby. It's a picture of utter elegance, but also of coolness. Whether it's interiors or fashion, the French have this way of looking perfectly undone. There's just this free-spirited, like, I barely tried, but I look impossibly chic air to French style. And it's all about capturing that seemingly effortless coolness when decorating a room. So a Parisian-styled apartment often embraces a sense of casual imperfection with layered textiles, mismatched accents, and personal treasures collected over time. You want to create a space that feels curated, inviting, and lived in. I'm gonna be sharing specific decor pieces for inspiration later in this video, but as I say with a lot of interior styles, the best way to shop for this look is to go to your local thrift stores and antique stores. And it's tough to classify individual accessories as French because I think what we perceive as French style is actually more of an overall ethos. And then how can dark academia factor into this? How do we marry the effortless, breezy elegance with the dark, heavy drama? Even though these two styles differ in plenty of ways, I actually think they have a lot in common, hence my belief that they were born to be together. They're both extremely romantic, rich in history, and dramatic in their own ways. So to tie all this together and address Debbie's comment about incorporating French accessories into a dark academia room, let's get into the specific decor pieces I found that would help you convey this dark, romantic union in even the most architecturally basic spaces. We'll start with wall styling and then work our way inward to the smaller decorative pieces that you can place throughout the room. One thing you can consider for your walls is to, well, fake those beautiful architectural details we see in classic Parisian apartments and in old world academic institutions alike. You could get faux wall molding panels, chair rail or crown molding, or a ceiling medallion. All of these would be great options to create a sense of historical character in your space. One word of caution though, if you live in a rental apartment, these may not be the most renter friendly, but if you're able to, or if you have a security deposit be damned kind of attitude, doing something like this would take a basic room and elevate it with so much charm. And if you want to be extra daring and really lean more into the dark academia side with these, you could paint your walls black as well as these faux molding pieces for a moody and dramatic color drenching look. Then, of course, there's wall art, and there are so many different ways you could go with this. If it were me and I were mixing the dark academia and French aesthetics, I would collect an assortment of art, much of which would be from thrift stores and antique shops, and have the subject matter convey varying degrees of dark edge and eclectic free-spiritedness. But if you want a good sort of wall art starter pack for this look and you just feel really overwhelmed by all the options out there, you could get a gallery wall set like this. This assortment of pieces are dark and moody and also have the kind of classic elegance you'd find in a French space. Something like this is a good option just to get started as you collect individual art pieces over time. Then you also can't go wrong with displaying work by a French artist like this Matisse print. This would be perfect for this look because, of course, it's inherently French and it's black. So you have both the French and the dark aspects with something like this. I also think that the simplicity of a Matisse is always undeniably chic, and it would be a nice addition to an eclectic collection. And then there's this piece, which in my mind does a perfect job of encapsulating the French side and the dark academia side all in one, along with a cheeky sense of humor. She looks like she's hidden herself in a tucked away room, escaping a lavish Versailles party so she can read a book in peace. So French, so academic. You could also consider something a little bit more on the edgy side, like this skull and flowers piece. This would be perfect for dark academia specifically because it definitely has that look of anatomical drawings in an old academic textbook, but it would also be great for a room designed with a French sensibility because remember, it's all about collecting pieces over time. French design is not matchy-matchy, so unexpected visual moments are part of the charm. You could also consider wall art like these two pieces, which in some ways conjure a bit of a Matisse vibe, to circle back to that. And I could also see one of these nestled on a fireplace mantle or shelf among an array of diverse art pieces. And if you were to purchase just one of these and you were going for this French dark academia look, I'd of course get the one of the bust because there's really nothing more visually evocative of dark or light academia than a bust. This piece alone really does embody both sides of this style combo we're talking about simultaneously. And then you could also do peel and stick wallpaper, which I'm obviously a big proponent of. It's renter friendly and it's such a cool way to make a big dramatic statement. These two patterns in particular, I think would be lovely for a French dark academia room. And these are both by the Etsy shop that did my wallpaper, so I can speak from experience that their quality and customer service is excellent. This one is obviously very similar to mine, just with a slightly different floral arrangement, and this one has more of a warm tint to it. I just love this as a more dramatic option for this look. It's dark and moody for the dark academia side, and there's just something about a vintage floral print that feels very French to me. I don't know, is that just me? And then this one is a more subtle, delicate option that would also work well for both sides of this style spectrum. And if you're partial to the French country design look, this would be perfect. I realize I haven't really touched on French country, but I feel like that needs its own video, so I'm focusing more on the Parisian apartment style. But either way, this wallpaper would elevate a room in a dramatic yet soft and gentle way. Then finally for your walls, this is something that you would put against a wall, which is a faux fireplace. You may have seen that I featured this one in my recent winter decor video, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention it here because an ornate, old school looking fireplace is such a quintessential part of the Parisian apartment look. And it can be great for dark academia too. I think about a dimly lit study filled with old books, sitting on a worn leather armchair, reading by a crackling fire. There's so much visual romance to an ornate fireplace that fits both aesthetics so well. And like the faux crown molding and ceiling medallion options, this would be an accessible way to add some historical charm to an ordinary modern apartment. It may be fake, but with some good mantle styling and like a candle arrangement underneath, it could be such a cool statement. Now let's work our way inward from the walls to the decorative accents you could incorporate. Of course, both looks call for an assortment of books, And for both styles, the books that you choose should have meaning. Find books that mean something to you, that have something to do with your interests. And when it comes to choosing books that are well suited for these two particular styles, you could get something like these ones, which come in a mystery assortment, which makes it kind of fun. I personally would hope to get A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is one of my favorite Shakespeare plays. Fun fact, I played Hermia when I was studying at Stella Adler in NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, so this play has a very special place in my heart. I am such a theater kid. But anyway, in addition to these being great books in their own right, they would also look great on a shelf. And for the French side, there's nothing more French than Chanel. This book contains Chanel runway photos from over the years, and it would be such a perfect addition to any coffee table styling arrangement. I used to watch videos of runway shows religiously when I was living in New York. Something about that city just infects your blood cells with fashion, and Chanel is the best of the best. So I guess I'm partial to including this book. And really what I've shown you are two books that I personally connect with. And it'd be cool if you got them too, but really it's about finding books that you personally connect with. Books that are about something that you personally love and also look stylish on display. And then there's this gilded Baroque style mirror. If you were to get only one accessory to exemplify the Parisian apartment look, I think it'd have to be this one. It's just so intrinsic to this aesthetic. This one on Amazon is a nice budget-friendly option, but you could also probably find one in an antique store. The one I have on my desk is from World Market, and I love it. And if you really felt like splurging, you could go for the ever-coveted Anthropologie Primrose mirror. There are so many options in a range of price points, and it's a style of mirror that captures the Parisian look as well as the old world dark academia aesthetic. Then, of course, a bust is an excellent fit for this marriage of these two styles. Not only would it fit right into the eclecticism of French design, but there's also nothing more dark academia than a bust. I would even venture to say that it's a requirement if you're going for that look. And this one is doing a fun spin on the classic bust with its gold floral detailing. Think about how nicely this would tie in with a gilded mirror. It would just be so visually pleasing. Then there are lighting sources that you can put in a room that convey both of these styles. Something you'll often see in combination with a gilded Baroque style mirror in a Parisian apartment is a crystal chandelier, and this one on Etsy would be perfect. It looks elegant yet also kind of haunted, which is a vibe I personally love. Then an antique lamp like this one would work beautifully for both styles with its ornate base and moody glow. And it's just so timeless looking. It looks like it could be from many different time periods. And then a lantern and candlestick holders like these would be especially well suited for a desk area. These would instantly romanticize your workspace and transport you to a different time. Add a little rainstorm tapping on your windowsill and your favorite scented candle, and you have yourself a pure vibey workday. Then finally, I have a couple of throw pillows that I think would look great for this combination of these two styles. This one has a very French country design, while the black gives off more of a moody edge. And this one is very well suited for the dark academia side. It makes me think of The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Anything that summons a piece of classic literature is gonna be great for dark academia. So when you're looking for pillows for a French dark academia room, think about chic French patterns, Gothic imagery, nods to literature or even science. And keep in mind, it's all about collecting and mixing things thoughtfully without overthinking. I think that really sums up the French design sensibility. Be thoughtful, but don't overthink. So those were my thoughts and ideas on how you can bring French design accents to a dark academia room. Of course, ultimately, these decor pieces that I featured are really meant to just sort of inspire some visual options in your head. I definitely recommend checking out local stores where you live, antique shops, thrift stores, and the like. And if you want more dark academia inspiration, I definitely recommend you check out this video of mine next. It's all about creating a dark academia look in a small bedroom. So like, how do you fit such a big dramatic style in a small room? If you are interested in that, watch this one next.